is on mission. And for the children's story, I'll ask us all to turn our eyes, and we're going to be focusing on Abram's call and Abram's journey. And one of the things that I want my children especially to think about, if you were called on such a journey, what would you want to take with you?
Long ago, before most of the other stories we have heard from the Bible, came the call of Abraham. The story of Abraham's life and the messages God sent him are some of the most important tales in the whole Bible. Abraham was an old and godly man who lived in a land called Ur, a land surrounded by desert. He had lived a long and happy life with his wife, whose name was Sarai. Throughout his life, Abraham stayed faithful to God and only did good. He had also accumulated a lot of wealth throughout his life. He had a fine house in the land of Ur, and many cattle and sheep. The only thing he did not have, however, was a child. Although they were happy with all they had, both Abraham and Sarai longed to have a child to continue their family.
Oh, how I wish I could have just one child.
But as Abraham was already an old man, he knew that this was not possible. Abraham lived what seemed to be a normal, God-worshipping life until well into his life, and he could never have predicted how his life was soon to change forever. Abraham was a man of worship and would regularly go out to pray to God. One day, God changed the course of Abraham's life and the whole world by calling out to Abraham.
Abraham.
God? Is that you?
Yes, Abraham. I have come to call you with a very important message.
Abraham was shocked that God would call out to him, but listened intently to what God had to say.
Yes, my lord. I am at your service.
I want you to leave this land, Abraham.
Leave? Leave Ur?
Yes, leave Ur. Leave your country, leave your people, and leave your father's household. Leave all of this behind and go to the land that I will show you."
Abraham couldn't believe what he was hearing. He could not imagine leaving everything he knew behind in order to go to a mysterious land he did not even know the name of. But God made great promises to Abraham about what would happen to him if he did leave.
"If you follow my words, Abraham, many great things will happen. I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and yourself will be a blessing to others. I will bless all who bless you, and whoever curses you, I will curse. You will possess a great name, and will be known to throughout the land. If you follow my words and leave this land, all of the people on earth will be blessed through you."
This was an incredible promise that God was making to Abraham, to have the whole world and all those who followed the path of Abraham to share in the Lord's blessing, was something that Abraham simply could not refuse. So he accepted God's call and rushed back to tell his family.
Yes, my lord, I shall do as you have asked. Thank you for this blessing. Sarai, father, gather.
When Abraham returned home, he gathered his whole family to tell them of how God had called upon him.
What is it, Abraham? I've never seen you look so excited.
God just spoke to me with a message.
What?
Yes, it's true, and he has a task for me.
What is it?
God has willed that I leave this country, leave behind leave behind this home, and leave behind our people.
What an incredible task. Where has he told you that you must go, if you are not to stay here?
The Lord did not tell me where to go. He only promised that he would show me the way.
How incredible.
And so I must go. We will all go together. You should pack everything you can, even the animals as well. We leave tomorrow.
Sarai and Terah, Abraham's father, agreed happily to go on this journey that God had asked for. They gathered up everything that they had and set off on their journey. Abraham's nephew, Lot, also joined them. On they went towards this promised land that God had spoke of. Abraham and his family made their way towards the mysterious land that God was leading them towards, their faith in his word strong. Eventually, they arrived at the land that God had spoken of, Canaan, which lay between Egypt and Syria. God had promised to Abraham that this land was to be his and to become a great nation owned by those who came from his seed, or in other words, his descendants. Along their journey, Abraham's devotion to God was strong. He stopped in many places and would build shrines to the Lord. One of the places that they stopped was a town called Haran. It was in Haran that Abraham's father, Terah, died at the ripe old age of 205 years old.
Rest in peace, dear father. It is now that we must continue our journey through Canaan to fulfill God's promise.
And so they continued onwards, this time crossing from east to west, as far as the famous Euphrates River. Eventually, they came to a holy plain named